Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Subi Vet. In today's video, I want to quickly talk about what, in my opinion, is the best head unit for the Subaru BRZ, as well as the Scion FRS or the Toyota GT86. What I have here is a 9-inch Android head unit by a company called Idoing. I'll put that on the screen in case you were wondering how that's spelled. But yeah, I've had this radio for about 2.5 years. So this is a 2-year review plus update. If people want to know the longevity of this radio, I will say right off the bat, it is a great radio. The responsiveness of the screen is absolutely fantastic. The screen resolution, they said, is 720p, but when I got the radio and put it in, I was pleasantly surprised. This screen looks way sharper than the specs that they give, at least to me. The biggest selling point for this radio when I was looking for a head unit was I wanted something that was an easy install. And this radio in particular was a plug and play. And it also has this trim, as you can see. This trim is attached to the head unit. This trim came with the head unit and it snaps in. And as you know, the factory head unit has got this trim piece that snaps over the front. This one does not. These are attached. So this is all one piece. But I love the look. It's very sleek. It's a much bigger screen than the factory head unit, but it looks OEM once it's installed. Another thing with this radio over the factory radio is that behind these trim pieces, there's no screws. So instead of having screws that hold the radio in, it's just these clips. And you would think that it would rattle, you think it would shake, but this thing holds it very nicely. I have never had this thing shake. I've never had the radio want to, it looked like where it was gonna pop out. This thing has held it for 2+ years without any trouble. So I think long term, I'm not worried about it. But the first thing, like I said, was the plug and play. That was pretty cool. But the reason overall that I got a new head unit was, as a lot of you probably know, the radios, in my case I had a 15, that's what my BRZ is. The head unit in these things just are terrible. The functionality is not very good. It's very limited on what you can do. The touchscreen is just not that responsive. And in my case, the whole left side of the screen when I had the car, when I bought it, was not working. It was dead. So I was already looking at head units. I was looking on YouTube, online, and I found this one. And the cool part is I found one that you can get online, as well as somebody that's already bought it and went through the trouble of putting it in. So I knew this radio was already pretty good from just the reviews that I'd watched prior, but I did want to give my opinion, my update on it. Like I said, this does have Android Auto. So if you go into the settings here, you have CarLink 2.0. I click on CarLink 2.0, it would connect. You can do whatever you want. I have Google Maps on here, so if you want to pull up Google Maps, go into Android Auto, or if you guys live on Android Auto, if that's just your thing, you can do that. You also have a shortcut, so if you don't want to do Android Auto, I use Bluetooth most of the time. I also use Amazon Music, so you go in here, you can hit music, my phone will automatically connect to the radio, comes up with a music description. You can, go back, go skip, stop, play, whatever you want to do, as well as having call. So it's got Bluetooth calling. It actually comes with a mic with the radio that you can put in the car, which is sweet. So in this case, it does have this. When you have a call come in, it'll come up on the screen so you can see the contact name. As well as, let's see, I also put a backup camera in this car. It didn't have it when I first bought the car, but I ended up putting it, just one off of eBay, and this thing is functional with that backup camera. So you can actually choose, you can change the options and stuff in the settings, but if I put this thing in reverse, it instantly just snaps right to the backup camera. Pop it back in neutral, and it comes right back up. This thing is it's super snappy, very quick. This thing's never skipped a beat. Another thing I want to talk about is I really like the idea of customizing, for your car. So in this case, when you turn on the radio, it actually comes up with a loading screen. And in my loading screen, I actually have the Subaru logo selected, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. So if you go into settings, you're going to go into factory settings. Now I had to find this pin online. I don't think it came with the radio when I bought it, but I since found it. I think they're all the same. So if you guys are looking for the pin or you want to know what it is, I'll put it on the screen as well, but what it is 3368 confirm, and it's going to give you access to more settings that are locked within the radio. And the only one I'm really going to talk about, you have touchscreen calibration, you have a few more things that you can select, but the one we're going to talk about today is one for boot screen logo. And what that is, when I click on it, you have all these different car manufacturers. There's a lot, but if you scroll through all of these, I already have Subaru selected, but let's say, like I said, this is compatible with the FRS and the GT86. So if you have a Toyota GT86, you have the Toyota option. You can select that. So when you boot up the car, that logo will come up on the screen. So like I said, it just makes it look, it gives it a factory feel. It's great. You go all the way down here, oh, right there. You have Scion as well. So you have the FRS. And I think there is another option. I have yet to do it. But if you go to the very end, if I hit something else, but if you go to the very end, you actually have the option to select custom pictures in your thumb drive. So if you wanted to select one, you know, a said FRS or said GT86 and not just have the Toyota or the Scion logo, you probably can select that as well. So there's a lot of customizing that you can do in this radio. There's so many settings, so much more functionality over the factory radio, and that's what makes this thing great, in my opinion. But I did want to just go and let you know, this thing, when I first bought it, as far as price, we're going to talk about pricing. I picked this one up for over $400. It was $435 shipped, which isn't cheap, but in my opinion, it's also not very expensive considering how head units go, especially one that has a factory fit and finish and is plug and play and is as snappy and reliable as the one that you can pick up now as this one. Like I said, it's a company called Idoing. I'll put the link to this radio in the description if you guys are interested. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on this radio. It's been a great one. I would definitely buy it again. But that's going to do it. I'll go ahead and put a little slot, a little sliver of the boot up screen in here so you guys can see what it looks like when you first turn it on. But that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time.